I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Did everyone have a chance to read the minutes from last week?
I did. I make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passed 3-0. Commissioner comment committee reports. Do you have anything, Jim?
Only that we're having our the first strategic planning session tomorrow. All department heads and elected officials will be working with Trudy Rice, who's from the Extension Office, kind of the facilitator. So it'll be interesting to see how that session goes.
Anything more? I've been involved with setting up a meeting with Roger Ham from the Kansas Department of Revenue on ag land valuation. We've set up a meeting for December 10th. It's a Monday evening at 7 p.m. He's going to talk about how ag land is, the valuation is set up on that. It's going to be at the Lancaster City Hall at 7 p.m. So if anyone's interested.
I did have one thing, but it's for everybody. Jerry is getting sworn in Friday at 4 o'clock, I believe, to courtroom 4 in Leavenworth, and then they're having a get together that night at what's her name?
Jerry's again?
Jerry's again upstairs.
Elizabeth's.
Elizabeth.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
That's it.
New business before the board. Peggy?
Yeah. I don't know if you remember, but last year we did the same thing. We do an assessment of our facility each year. We have a team that goes through all of our stats and what's improved, what's worse, what new regulations we need to work at. And we essentially come up with our own strategic plan and rate things 1 through whatever on things we have to work on in each area. So we've done ours. We had the meeting with our medical director last week to go through it, just highlights things that we're going to be focusing on this next year. We want to, instead of just do dementia training, initially we're going to start doing it annually for all the staff. We want to do some focusing on skin integrity. Medical director would like us to track the physician calls and whether we're getting quick response from them, so we'll be doing that. The things that you would be necessarily concerned about is, do we have the money to do the things that we have capital-wise? And we do. We're fully funded. Same thing with our teams for the different focus groups that we have within the building. We're funded for that so that I can pull extra staff to do those. We looked at our all-hazard assessments with Wes and updated our emergency plan, and this year we'll fold the active shooter training into that as well, so just like we did here. So our percentages look really good for last year. We did our quality measures are in good shape, but it's mostly quality that we're looking at. It's called Quality Assessment Process Improvement Tool.
So is this mainly looking forward on what you want to do next year, or is this grading what you had set up from last year?
We look at what we look at what has happened, and I'm assuming it's very similar to our strategic plan that will start tomorrow. But you look at your statistics, okay, how many people did I have on psychoactive medications, and where do I want to be, and what percentage do I want to reduce it by? How many people had a fall last year? What do I want to reduce it by? So I take all my stats, what was my staff turnover, and then I make a plan for the next year. So that's what it is. We reviewed it. We do need a commission sign on it. So, and you can look at it in detail if you want to, but I just kind of hit your highlights for you.
Any other questions from the other commissioners?
This is called a Q-A-P-I plan.
Yeah, quality assessment process improvement plan.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we give you the authority to sign off on the Q-A-P-I plan for Atchison Senior Village.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to sign off on the copy.
That's what we got.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Pass 3-0.
Is it possible for you to email me a copy?
Sure. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Pat, did you have a chance to look over that audit representation letter?
Yeah, I did. I'm a little jaded. You read these and you're assuring the auditors that there aren't any mistakes to be found and that you're responsible for everything. Yeah, and that's the jaded view. I guess it's a very common type of letter that you're making assertions to them or telling the auditor that everything that you know about that would materially affect the audit has been disclosed. So I don't see any problem with it being signed and sent to them, and you will not get an audit if you don't provide it. So.
And there is a place for all three commissioners to sign. Any questions? Do I hear a motion to accept this and provide the representation letter to Reese Novelli?
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Pass 3-0. The next topic would be we had a late start yesterday due to weather, and we really need to have a vote on if we're going to compensate, how we're going to compensate the employees, since there is nothing in the what's the word for it? Well, yeah, policies dealing with this. Looking at other counties and what they do, there's several of counties that took the day off yesterday or had to cancel completely, and they have compensated their employees and treated it as holiday pay. which I asked Jamie about what holiday pay meant, and that is that it would be paid at regular rate, but it wouldn't count towards overtime. So anybody that had that time, you couldn't collect on the backside. You couldn't collect overtime. Any thoughts on whether we should compensate the employees for the? It varies from office to office. Some it's, I believe, 2 hours. Some it's an hour and a half.
I make a motion to compensate employees involved in the courthouse late start from their normal work time until the 10 o'clock hour. It'll vary by employees. I've got here before 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
But I would make a motion to compensate them for that. If they didn't come to work at all, then they should take either do without the pay or take paid time off, which would be vacation, I guess, in this case.
Okay, I'll second that. Any discussion?
I think it was a good choice to have a delay to let the state and the county roads get in better shape. But as far as compensating for those 2 hours, I will be a no vote, and I want my name noted.
Okay. Nothing further. It's been moved and seconded to compensate the employees for the time.
Point of procedure, are we going to have a roll call vote?
Well,
No, I don't know his name noted. Is there a different type of vote?
I think sometimes it's just, it will say 2 to 1.
And yeah, it would say 2 to 1, it would say 2 for Henry or Bill Paul against. It'd just be my name will be noted.
Okay.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
2 to 1. Okay. Any other new business?
Everything opposed.
That's what I was double checking here. I see you're signed up to go to the training in January for your commissioners.
Do you, what time is C.S. graduation ceremony?
10 a.m. It's in the House chambers at the State Capitol.
Do you feel it's kind of a thank you? Maybe Commissioner Barrett set out for lunch that day on county credit card?
I don't have a problem with it, but I don't know if that's been offered before. It's kind of out of the. I don't know what to say.
Let me talk to Seth about it.
Okay.
I mean, he may have other plans, or
He may have a large group going down or something.
yeah. So
Okay. Here's the.
Yeah, I see.
I'll make the offer.
Okay, moving on. Any old or unfinished business? County Councilor update?
We had a discussion last week about an additional fee, or not an additional fee, a fee to be charged for the generation of a 911 address, and that I think is tied in a little bit to the 911 signage. So it would be in the future for addresses that don't yet exist, creating a fee to cover the cost of a new sign, and have that be part of the process where someone applies for a 911 address. There are no state statutes that I could find that govern that process at all. And the Postal Service doesn't have control over that. It is clearly within the county's purview to create 911 addresses. I did just some online looking, so it's more anecdotal than anything. But I didn't see that there were other counties in Kansas that were charging a fee for generating a new address. The addresses aren't assigned to properties; they're assigned really to entrances or to driveways, if you will, because they're supposed to tell the numbers themselves are supposed to have some bearing on where the entrance is to the property. We do have a procedure right now, a location certificate for new construction, and so that would be the logical place for, and that is how 911 addresses are generated right now. If you want to have an additional fee, you just need to determine what that fee, how much that fee will be. And I don't think you even need a resolution to do it. I think you can do it simply by making a motion authorizing GIS to charge and collect the fee.
Have you been in touch with Wes about this, or
Yeah.
did he recommend a figure, or was there anything?
I don't know that we talked about that.
I mean, we would actually need to approve a specific figure, or just approve the charging of a fee.
No, it would both. Both.
Well, currently now, when you come get a building permit, you pay a fee.
No, we do not charge a fee for that.
Are you sure?
We don't have a building permit, so we have a location certification.
We're not charging for that?
We're not charging for that. And really all we're checking is to make sure that it's not in floodplain. And we don't go out on site. We don't have any building codes or anything like
You have a permit for your septic tank.
Yes.
Is that part of the building permit?
There's a fee for that.
There is a fee for that.
The way I took it from when Wes was up here, he said that because somebody brought it up. Well, what are you going to do about new residents? And he said, well, we'll just put that fee when they
Apply for
a building permit or for
So Roger
tax rebate.
Denton administers the building permits?
I believe so.
Maybe we should get his,
And
maybe we ought to get his,
but there was no discussion about the cost from Wes, as I recall.
Yeah, I think we need a recommendation for now.
Both of them, both Wes and Roger.
Well, was this going to be just the cost of the sign for the new? We were paying for any existing addresses, but the way I took it, it was actually the cost of the sign for a new address.
we have a price for replacing it.
Yeah,
So it'd be the same price, wouldn't it?
I would assume. But
Let's get a
what they say about
Let's get a
assumptions.
Wes Roger recommendation.
Why don't we put them down for next week if they can? And it could be in morning sessions as far as that goes. To actually come up with a figure for it and how it would work and be attached.
There's just a checkbox on this one, and there are several on there. Whether the property needs an address is one of them, for example. And then whether it's in the neighborhood revitalization program, and noting that there's a separate application required for that. And then also with require waste disposal, and noting that there is a separate application for that. Any KES, I believe, handles those, and so I am not ordinarily involved with anything in the permitting process other than if someone gets a permit and doesn't build something, but they have a structure that's apparently occupied. That comes up rarely, but I'm not involved in the permitting process, so I don't know what the fee is.
So they'll put them on for next week. They can be in the morning session, I believe, and have it figure out.
We got something pretty big for next morning session, next Tuesday.
Audit.
Yes.
That's at 10.
Oh, it's at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, you're looking at pretty much the whole morning.
Quite a bit of it. Yeah, I don't think this would take very long, especially if you let them know what
Right.
we are specifically
We
needing.
may have to schedule them in the afternoon.
Okay. Yeah. Any other? Well, that's county council update. Any other updates?
Yes, I will not be, you have a strategic planning meeting tomorrow. There's a hearing at the Board of Tax Appeals in the morning, so I will be at that. I won't be at the strategic planning session, at least in the morning. And I'm not sure what time we get done, so.
That's the meeting I plan on attending also in Topeka.
There was some discussion, Brad, this morning. Well, there's been some discussion about whether you wanted to put auditing out for, if you wanted to solicit proposals for an auditor. And is that something you want me to get prepared? Or is it still in the discussion stage? Or
I think Mr. Barr mentioned that he'd like some input from Jamie.
I think we gotta have some. Obviously, this auditor is late, and I'm not very happy about it. But I think I'd like to hear Jamie and Michelle give us a recommendation.
I think it would make a lot of difference what we hear next week in the morning to see if this lateness is a one-time deal or whether that we could be assured that it wouldn't happen again.
I think we're going to need some input from them because as soon as they
Yes.
get done presenting, they're going to throw us the thing and say, sign it, that's a contract for next year. And then we discussed about going 3 years because it's quite a bit cheaper.
I think we first need to hear before, and if that's what it is, we'll put it out for bid because I think we need to hear the current one before I'm going to make up my mind on the next year to 3 years. As late as it is, I can't see where they would expect us to sign it on the day they present it. And again, yes, I believe that we need to have other parties involved with the decision making. I think probably the week after next, we would either be ready to look into sending one out, or I think we'll kind of know about where we're at probably after our meeting next week.
Mr. Chairman, should we have Michelle notify who all you want in here in next week's workshop and listen and ask questions and make comments?
I don't know whether that is, if the audit information is for mainly commissioners, and then we base the next year or multiple years after that, or if it's fine with me, but I didn't know whether they needed to be in on or the current audit. Do you think it would be good to be in on as far as you personally?
I personally feel that it would be beneficial, and I think the treasurer and HR need to be available as well.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
For guidance, if nothing else.
Yeah, I was kind of switching gears from looking forward to the current one, so I would definitely invite them.
Any insight that we can get off of last year's to help make us more efficient with next year's would be, I think, a benefit all around.
Yeah, there's no reason not to be as far as I'm concerned. But okay, I'll make a note of that. Pat, do you have another more?
I sent the letter to King's Construction and to Cook Flat and Strobel. I emailed you copies of it. Those went out yesterday. Just to let you know those were done. No, that's all I have.
Okay. We need an executive session for them. Any other business? Mary, do you have anything?
No, I'll probably need to talk to you about your tax.
Okay. Okay, with that, no other business. Do I hear a motion to adjourn at 1:25? Or 1:25?
I so moved, Mr. Chairman.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? That's 3-0. Before you get out.